I'm Olivia.
And I'm Hailey, and this is
One Thing at a Time, a podcast where we talk about all things photography, life, and advice.
Okay, everybody, we have Kmac on the pod. Woo!
Hey guys, my name is Kmac. Well, my name is actually Caitlin Macmillan. Long story short, when I was in 7th grade, I was on a soccer team, and I was the youngest Caitlin on the team because there were two of us. And they just gave me the name Kmac, and it has stuck for years. And so I just, created a little brand out of it, and here we are. So now everyone calls me Kmac.
That's actually really cute.
Yeah, it's weird and fun and just like a little special because it just kind of sticks in your brain a little bit better than just like a regular name, I guess. But so I am a full-time photographer. I'm a wedding and elopement photographer. I currently live in Virginia Beach, but I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, so born and raised in the Southeast. I have been full-time since 2020. And it's just been a blast. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Do people come up to you and they call you Kmac, like your clients, or do they know your actual name?
I think they know my name because of my email, but most of the time I sign my name as Kmac. My Instagram is Kmac, was my website. And if they actually read like the copy that I have on my website, it'll say, "Hey, my name's Caitlin. Everyone calls me Kmac." And so, but a lot of times people ask what I want to be called, and I usually just say, "Just call me Kmac," but whatever's more comfortable for you is fine. So
okay, that's so funny because I have a friend and her photography business is like her first name and her middle name, but I always just assume that that's her last name. So that's what I have written as on my phone.
People actually have that happen to me a lot because my name is Hailey High, and they're like, "Is that your like actual name?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "It's not a nickname," and I'm like, "No."
Wait, so your last name is High, H-I-G-H?
Yes, it is. It's a fun last name.
Well, it's Knight, but
okay. So I just got married, and it's Knight now. But because I own a business, it's everything's so complicated because I just got my passport, like literally, and you know how hard it is to get a passport. So I renewed it, and I renewed it with High because I was in such a rush that I couldn't go to the DMV because the DMV is a pain of my existence. And then I just had to get it, and I had to get it. And so I put High. And so now it's my last name still is High, but on my marriage certificate, it's Knight. It's High Knight, which is really confusing. But my last name is High and Knight. It's both. Because I hyphenated it. Just because having a business attached to like your name is really hard to change.
Yeah.
But I like that you did like Kmac because that's a lot what's the word? It's a lot cooler than like literally like Hailey High Photography.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah, it is interesting though because when the very occasional, like if a blog or a website needs to give credit, like if they put a photo for like a wedding or something, they always ask me like what you want it to be called, and it makes so much more sense to say like Caitlin Macmillan Photography. Like it just sounds better like on a written magazine. But when it's like my business name is Photos by Kmac, and so when it's like they put Photos by Kmac, it's like it doesn't work. And so I never know what to say. I usually just give them my first and last name, but like people don't know my first and last name as like my biz people associate me with Kmac, and it's just like kind of funny and weird, but it's fun. So
that's fun. That's hilarious. People just think I'm Olivia Rodrigo. So as soon as I get that ring, I'm changing that. So
one of your business, you're gonna keep it.
I don't know. She may drag me business like Olivia Rodrigo, so whatever. We may keep it, we may not, but we'll see.
That's true.
Okay, so I have the most important question, which so me and Olivia are Christians, so I love Enneagrams, but I also love horoscopes. So what is your horoscope? What is your
I have Enneagram? Okay, so I have no idea. I've never looked into horoscopes, to be completely honest with you. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what I am. I know nothing. But I do know Enneagram, and I have decided I haven't really taken the test. I have taken the test, but I don't really believe the test as much as I believe like reading the descriptions and being like, okay, like reading it really intently and be like, this is me in a way, or like I relate to this really well. So I would say that I am a 3-wing 4.
Oh, you are. Yes. Okay. I totally see that. Because you did not strike me as like a 7, 8. You seem like you're very like heartfelt and genuine. And yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like the 3 is like, I'm pretty like, if I want to do something, like I'm gonna do it. Like I'm pretty driven. Like I really appreciate follow through, and like when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm really gonna do it. And so there's where like the 3, I guess, achiever, like I care about in maybe not always a good way, like public image sometimes. And so like that is something that I've worked through and whatnot. And so that's where like the big 3 comes out. And then I definitely feel like I've been able to tap in a little bit more of my emotion in like the 4, and that's creative side and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So it's kind of, that's where I feel like the 4 comes in. But yeah, I feel like we all have parts of different of every number in us.
100%.
Because 100%. If not, then I feel like there's a hot takes on the Enneagram, but I do think that it's very beneficial. And so that's what I would say that I am.
I read a book on Enneagrams. It's literally the most popular book. I'm sure.
The Sacred Enneagram, or
it's like The Road.
Oh, The Road Back to You.
The Road Back to You. It was that. And I was like, oh, I really like this book. But yeah. Guess what I am? Let's see if you can guess.
I just met you 10 minutes ago.
I know. It's fun though.
Are you a 7?
I'm an 8-wing 7. So yes.
I could tell you had a little bit of 7 in you.
Yes, we do. We have an 8.
You have some 4 in you, Olivia?
No, I'm actually a 6-wing 7, but I literally have no idea what any of that means. So
I didn't know that you had 7 in you, Olivia.
I took the test like once and I just kind of ran with it, but I don't know if that's actually
I would
true.
recommend just going through the website and reading the descriptions rather than taking the test. Because, yeah.
Well, when's your birthday?
March 3rd.
Okay. She's a Pisces.
Oh, we love my husband's a Pisces. Basically,
hey, awesome.
You're emotional, you're caring, you're a dreamer. All of it.
she's like,
Thank
yeah,
you so
I am.
much. Keep talking. No, just kidding.
My husband's like, that's hoopla. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, it's true for me and it's true for you. So we take it with a grain of salt. They're just more so fun. But I really do think that there is truth to Enneagrams. And I feel like it's almost like when you work with different people, it gives you a better basis on like their personality. So it's just fun to know. So
totally.
Well, what does a 6-wing 7 mean? Enlighten me, because I literally don't know.
I can't answer that.
Hailey?
I can tell you I'm the least 6. The 6 was the lowest one on my chart, so I actually can't tell you much.
So the only thing I know about it is that it's kind of like 5s and 6s tend to lean a lot towards like worst case scenarios. So you're like preparing for the worst.
Interesting.
That sounds like me.
Olivia, does that sound okay?
Olivia's a little bit of a hypochondriac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
a
little bit.
You aware of this, and that's all it is. It's just a little tool for growth.
Don't call her out. She's gonna cry later.
Much love.
No, it's fine. I'm best friends with Hailey. I get called out a lot, so she's.
Hey, don't call me out. I'm calling you out, okay, babe?
But what's a 7? Because you have 7. Hailey.
It's the achiever, like, but an achiever in the sense of.
I know 3 is the achiever.
Well, it's not like you like to achieve. Like you like to. Evie, do you listen to the Heart and Hustle podcast?
Sometimes, yeah.
Evie is a 7, and she's very. Basically, me is a 7 because every test I've taken, it's been either 7-wing 8 or 8-wing 7. So, like, what's the Google description?
7 is the enthusiast.
Oh, the enthusiast.
Oh. Okay. Sure.
Whatever. Here you go. I'm gonna send you guys a link.
Educating us. Period.
Education.
Don't you do that? That's fun.
There's a little chat.
Hailey, there's a chat.
Okay, so the enthusiast, a busy, fun-loving type, spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered.
Oh, okay.
Which is really funny because scattered really is my personality, but that's fine.
Totally.
Okay, so we're gonna get a little deep. I think we should. What is the best piece of life advice you've ever been given?
I feel as though I feel like this relates to a lot, and not just photography. So I love that you said life advice. One of the biggest things that I've learned and that I've been given is that people will remember less what you say, but more how you made them feel. And so it is like that is, been one of the driving forces for my business and the way I like want to live my life. Because it's like, yes, obviously I want to be smart with my words. Like our words they matter and they are very important and they can tear down and build up like immediately. And so like not to say that we shouldn't use our words wisely, but also our words have power to make people feel things. And so I think it's really important to remember how people feel when they're interacting with you or your business or just as humans. And so like I just I think back to my memories, and you could probably think back to yours, and remember less about conversations that you were having, but like more so how you were feeling in the moment.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that is probably like one of the best things that I don't even remember where I learned that, but it stuck with me like
That's
so.
really good. I feel like that, like, puts things in perspective for people. That's really good. I don't even have anything else, like, and no follow-up questions for that because that was, like, really good. Was not
Thanks.
expecting that. Um
It's just something that I tell all my clients, like even on initial first phone calls with them, where it's like if we're talking about a wedding, hypothetically, like I say, like, I would so much rather you look at your photos when you get them back and say, oh my gosh, like, we were just having the best time of our lives in this, or like, we were just so in love, rather than like looking back at a really pretty photo, maybe, but
Mhm.
like remembering, like, oh, Kmac was like really stressing me out or this moment, or like, I was not having a good time, and maybe the photo is better, and maybe some people might not care about that, but like the clients that I want to relate to like do care about that. And so it's been sweet to like even see that implemented into my business. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's really good. So kind of like to piggyback off of that question, is
Totally.
there a piece of like business advice that you would give to people, not even necessarily just beginning photographers or business owners in general, but like geared more towards like business related? What's like a big piece of advice that you would give?
I think business is still people. And so I think like as you kind of mentioned earlier, like I feel like I tend to be a little more relational in the way that I run business. And obviously like photography is a very specific thing. So we're very it's a very intimate and emotional thing also, especially with, weddings. And
Mhm.
so like I would say like business wise, like just don't lose sight of the fact that they are still humans and they are still people. And like that even just like relates to remembering how they feel. And so like even in conversations about contracts or about money, or if they're frustrating you, it's like these things like they don't know, not that they don't know any better, but like sometimes this is their first experience with a photographer, so like they
Yeah.
might not. And so it's just kind of like I would say like just keep in mind that these are humans that you're also interacting with. As much as we want our clients to treat us like humans, like they also
Mhm.
want us to treat them like humans too. Um, so yeah, probably
That's
that.
good. I feel like when you get to a point in your business where you're growing, you get clients that give you that same energy back. Because I feel like in the beginning, it was like the budget brides, like the
Sure.
people that were just looking at price kind of forgot the fact that you're a human. And you also forget that they're like a human too, because you're like, all I see is a budget bride that wants a deal. But I feel like as I've gotten more successful in my business, I've felt like my clients truly care about me and what they say, what they do, how they like respond to like the
Mhm.
sneak peeks I give them, how they review me, how they refer me.
Totally.
So I actually really like that. That was really good. Olivia, do you have anything to add?
No, but I am very stunned by how, you speak. You're very articulate with your words. Like, I just wanted to compliment you on that, like,
Wow.
you know what to
Thank you.
say, so I find that very, like, admirable, like, because 'cause
Oh.
I'm very, scatterbrained, obviously, so I just have to think a little bit before I
No,
speak.
you're
But,
good.
yeah, I wanted to compliment you on that because
Thank
I
you
think
so
that's a
much.
very good trait.
Wow.
How old are you? I know that's
Thank
so
you.
personal. We can cut this out if you're not comfortable.
It's not personal. No, I'm 24.
You're 24.
Okay.
I graduated college in 2020, and went full time right after that, like in COVID. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Hey, that's the best time.
What did you
I
graduate
honestly,
with?
why am I forgetting? Communications, like strategic communication, social media marketing, graphic design. So, I mean,
So
works.
you started your business like in 2020? Is that when you like first opened your Instagram?
No. So I kind of cheated a little bit and just turned my personal Instagram into my photography Instagram
Mhm.
around 20. So I guess I'll give you a little backstory right now since we're here.
Mhm.
So in high school, I was not one where like my grandpa had cameras sitting around the house and I used to play with them. No. And so that was not a part of my story, which is great. I love my grandpa so much. He was in the military, and so which is awesome. You can cut that out.
My
And
grandfather was too. It's okay. I just think it's funny
yeah,
because
that's fine. I'm
everyone's
gonna
like, "Oh,
stay straight. My grandpa,
grandpa."
God rest his soul, he is with Jesus now, but he um was like in mechanical engineering, like super good with his hands, like worked on cars and stuff. And he built this bomb in his garage and just for like fun. I don't know. He was building a bomb for Lord knows why. And it ended
Pepper.
up like going off on his hands, like it blew up in his hands. And he lost like 3 of his fingers. And so my family has kind of like a history of losing fingers, which is just super funny. But so all I remember my grandma, like ever since I've known him, he's always had 3 fingers or like on his one hand. And like my cousin cut off his finger building a house once. So it's just like that's super
Do
unrelated,
you
but
have all of yours?
I have all 10.
Okay.
Good. We're
Don't
safe.
worry. But all that to say, my grandpa did not have cameras, but I played sports in high school, and soccer was like my number one. I loved it so much. And in my freshman year, my dream was college soccer. Professional soccer was not good enough. I can tell you that right now. But I tore my ACL my freshman year of high school, and I was still so determined. Was so in love with soccer, and then 4 months after that first surgery, I tore it again because I was stupid and I didn't do my physical therapy right. And I was just, a brat. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. 9 months of recovery. So it was like 13 months total of rehab. And then I was getting back to soccer. It was my junior year of high school and was like playing soccer and basketball in high school and all this stuff. Right before my senior year started, I like had a school I was going to play at. And I was like, great, everything's coming together. I planned out like the next 4 years of my life. And then right before my senior year, I tore my ACL again. So it was like freak
Same,
accident.
and this is all the same one, not different legs.
Yes, correct. And it was this moment where my doctor was like, hey, you should probably stop playing soccer. And I was like, I'll believe you this time. Like, you're right. And so it was just really, I mean, to not be dramatic about it in high school, it's like an identity crisis kind of because you're like, I have put everything into this sport, which is a classic story for it, like how athletes who get injured. But it was just, I mean, that was part of my story. And so then my mom got me a camera for Christmas because I've been like I'd been naturally entrepreneur. Like I'd always had an entrepreneur mind. And so I'd always been like selling things to my teachers or to my friends or whatever. And I had been kind of like showing that I had a little bit of an eye where I would like take my mom's iPhone and like take photos with it, whatever. And so she got me a camera my senior year of high school. So that was like the first time I really touched a camera. I went to college in Virginia and then just like met some people who would do it for fun. And we would just like go to the Blue Ridge Parkway and take photos for fun. And it was just like a thing that we did. And then like one thing after another, then it kind of became a little bit more of a classic. Like, okay, then one friend asked me to shoot a wedding, and I literally shot my first wedding for $300 without any experience whatsoever. Like, not even trying to get into the industry. Just was like, oh, sure, whatever, and shot the wedding. It was like, I mean, terrible looking back, but it was fine at the time. And
We all got to start somewhere.
totally.
Mhm.
And so then it was like another random connection, another random connection. And then I would like go back to school for the year and then like go home and shoot a wedding each summer or like something like that. And then my junior year of college, I was like really involved in student government just on their communications team. Like I would take photos for all their events. I would shoot all their headshots, their campaign stuff. Like I would do all of the stuff for free. It just was volunteer, for school.
Yeah.
And then around campus, I was just kind of like someone who took photos, like was just like known as someone who took pictures. And so then my junior and senior year, it was just this like insane amount of like, okay, I had 20 graduation photos this year, and then the following fall, like 3 couples got engaged, all 3 of them booked me for their wedding, and then time after it was like more couples getting engaged because I mean at Liberty everyone's getting engaged left and right, and so
Yeah.
it's like
Spring before spring, baby.
totally.
She's charged.
Yeah, well, y'all got someone.
Okay, when me and my husband were dating for like over 3 years, but
Yeah, say whatever you need to say. Um,
my heart's no, so I can't even justify it.
okay. And so yeah, it was just kind of then my senior year, I was like, wow, I have like 12 weddings next year this summer. Like, what's going on? I don't even have time for a full-time job.
Mhm.
And then February, the Lord was just kind of like, with knowing, now with you guys kind of knowing my backstory of like the soccer, and I loved it so much, and I absolutely put it above the Lord in my life. It was kind of like, this moment where then I was so afraid to do photography full time, to love it so much, to have it be a job, because I was like, I'm so afraid that I'm going to love it too much again, just like I did soccer. And I'm just going to like lose my love for it, or the Lord's going to take it away from me. Where now, I mean, I know that that's not necessarily how the Lord works, but it was kind of like, it was this fear that I had. And I just remember in February of 2020, the Lord just being like, hey, like, I am not calling you to photography. Like, I'm calling you to people. And the avenue that I'm going to have you love them through is with your camera in your hand. And like, that is all I'm asking you to do. And if you can do that, then like, the world is your oyster, kind of.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, like, if that's all you're asking, like, I can do that. And it was just this, like, because it's not me, it's not about the photo, it's not about, me promoting myself. It's about, like, these couples and these stories and me loving them. And I'm not going to lose my love for it because I'm not loving the photos, I'm loving these people. And so it was just this whole mindset shift into where then I was like, okay, like I can go full time, it's fine. And then March was like, boom, COVID. And I was like, boom, oh no. And then I like moved home from school for my last 2 months of my senior year and like was still going full time. But it worked out like so well. The Lord was so kind because most, if not all of my weddings that year were Liberty students. So they're like Christian couples still wanting to get married, wanting to have their wedding because it was important to them. And they just condensed their wedding, but I was still a needed member of that because my photos to share with all their friends that couldn't be there. And so I still did like 30 weddings that year, and ended up just like being so special. But yeah, so that's kind of like the whole spiel of like how I even got started and why I do what I do, and kind of like why I feel like I have the mindset behind why I do what I do. So I don't even remember what the question was, but
no, that you answered it and then some. So that's crazy. So how have you been able to grow so fast? Because like hindsight, it's 2022 about to be 2023 now. I think it's like literally a few days till 2023. That is you grew super fast. How are you able to do that?
I don't have an answer. I don't know. Like it really feels so, yeah. And I mean, I think the question was about like me transferring my Instagram. And so I think I started posting in like 2018-ish, my 2018 or 2019, my photography work on my personal page. So like I think I had like a little over 2K just from like being, living. And then I was like, okay, I don't really want to start from scratch. I already have few people here that care about what I do. So I was like, I might as well just like use this as what I do. And so from there, to be honest, I have no idea how it's grown. I just feel honored like that people care to follow along. Like it feels so special and like kind of sacred in a way. And so it's like, I definitely want to steward it well. But there's been a few times where like, just practically speaking, like a few proposals have popped off, like a couple big accounts have like reposted it, like some cool proposals that I've gotten to shoot. And so those are a few ways that like things have grown here and there. But other than that, I don't really feel like I've done that much. So.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like the last 3 years have been a blur. Like I couldn't even tell you how I got to where I am. Like I really don't know. Like it was just all so fast. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel you on that sense.
Totally. Yeah. So.
Okay, so I feel like You answered literally one of my questions was like what sets you apart as a photographer and a creative. And I feel like because you care, a lot of people get in this industry for money. And people ask me like, "Oh, should I become a photographer?" And I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm broke and I need money." And I'm like, "And this is not the career path for you because not only is there a bunch of upfront costs, but you have to love it. You have to have an eye for it. You have to
Right.
it needs to almost like fall into your lap. If I've never met like a photographer that's been like, "Yep, I did this for the money and now I'm successful." It's always been I took pictures on my grandfather's camera and one day I just was here. Or my story is like I was doing senior sessions and seniors turned into married people that turned into referrals. And I
Totally.
feel like everyone that's been, I feel like true, like have has been on this journey of true success has had opportunities to where, do you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like I answered that question. You
Yeah.
answer that question by setting yourself apart through just being you and like your story and your journey with God and what he's shown you through that and what your purpose is. And that's like inspiring. So thank
Aw.
you so much for that. Olivia,
I
do you
also
have
feel Oh,
yeah, go
sorry.
on.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I also feel like in general for anybody, it's like that's what the thing is. And I just talked like I helped my friend host a workshop recently, and I did a little speech on like personal branding, and like that is the biggest thing that like will set you apart. Like either one of you two, like the most unique thing we have about ourselves and about our business is our personality. Like we are all doing similar things when we're taking photos of people in love, and
Mhm.
like, but what's gonna really set you apart is who you are, and like that is just like a really special thing that I think we can just like use to our advantage.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a super personal question. So, are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't know if you were like Latter-day Saints. I don't know if you're I don't
I'm
know.
Yeah, Bible believing Christian. Yep. I grew up
Okay.
in the church, and I really feel like I had the classic, like I got saved when I was 7, baptized when I was 9, but I really feel like I started following the Lord like on my own in college. Like I was, I really believe that I was saved through high school, but it was like I went to a Christian high school, I went to a Christian college, like, and so, but I really feel like college was where I was like, I want this for myself.
Well,
Uh,
I can see, like I can feel how genuine and how I feel
you're
like
so
what sets you apart is like the Holy Spirit in you.
Mhm.
And I see that so clearly, and I feel like that's why I was drawn to your work because there are some photographers that stick out and it's like, yes, their work's beautiful, but it's like something about them and like hearing your story and seeing you and like hearing you the way you talk, I can so see that that's what sets you apart.
Aw, Haley, thank you
She's
so
gonna
much.
cry.
Oh.
It's like it's a rare gift to be able to like
It's an
articulate
honor,
like
thank you.
your journey and like what God has done and like give proper praise to him, and I feel like you do that like so well and it's so evident in your work. So like
Thank
seriously, you're killing
you.
it. You're killing it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Oh.
Um Olivia, do you have any questions for her?
I was just gonna say that I have like a sort of like a similar story to you, except for the
Yeah.
part I didn't play soccer and like I really didn't do much of anything. But it's so funny to hear how you started doing photography because I just one day I used to work at a dog groomer and I would always take their photos of the dogs. And so that's kind of how I got my start. It was not on purpose. And then my mom got me a camera and
Yep.
I just kind of did it. You know what I mean? It just kind of happened. And I actually, with the whole, Christian side of things, I got saved in 2020 and I got baptized in 2021. No, wait, 2022. Sorry.
Okay.
So in
Yay.
January of this year. So I'm looking back, I all glory to him, because I am where I am now. Because I don't think I would have done it if I didn't trust him. So I kind of have a similar, I can get really emotional, but I won't because I just met you. But,
You
but,
can, but
oh yeah, I can, but I won't.
That's okay.
So, yeah, so we have
Thank you
similar
so much
stories.
for sharing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I want to talk about a little bit of your editing style because it's very unique. So how did you like come to find it and like just give me all the deets? I want to know.
Well, thank you. That's so kind. It's interesting to hear you say that though, because I like sometimes I feel like it's not. Um
Girl, don't even.
Thank you. I think the biggest thing that when I think about editing, and most of my friends can tell you that I talk about this a lot, but I think, and one of the other questions was like, how would you describe your work? And so I would say like, my goal is to be like timeless. And I know that's like a coin, it's a word people use all the time now. And like nostalgia is also a word that's a lot used now, but like, I would say I really want to be timeless and nostalgic. And so and the reason for that is like, I want people to look at their photos and like remember what they saw with their eyes. And so if my photos are looking like drastically different from in camera to the final product, I think there's and this is just personal. That's like a personal how I feel. And I would say that there's an issue because then, what I'm remembering with my eyes is not what I'm seeing on this photo. And so I would like even say like sometimes like when I hit the little, the dash in Lightroom where you can kind of go back and forth between, the photo before and after, like sometimes there's not a huge difference. And I like that sometimes even better. And I definitely obviously enhance it and then change it and make it better and whatever I need to do. But
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing is that I want it to be timeless and I want them to remember what they saw with their eyes. So yeah, that's kind of what
Very unique perspective because I feel like a lot of photographers, we have this stuff to get caught up. Hi. We get caught up in like, oh, we can add like a sunburst here. Hey, what's up? Who
Yeah.
is that?
I don't know, my cousin. It's okay.
Oh, hi, cousin. Your baby cousin was really cute, by the
I'm
way.
okay.
She sent a selfie, but
He's so cute.
he is so cute.
You can go see him on my story.
Oh my god, stop.
Wait, was
Okay.
that the baby that you posted today?
Yes, that's my nephew.
Okay.
The little
Yes.
chunk of munch.
Really
Look
cute.
at this pic of him with a little thing on his head.
Yes, he was so
Oh,
cute.
stop. Yeah, rip my soul out of my chest. That's
Don't
adorable.
tempt Haley.
Stop it. I won't. But I want to, but I won't. But I saw this one photo of someone and I was like, this is phenomenal. This is beautiful. Slid up and I was like, I don't know how you did this, but teach me your ways. And they were like, you wouldn't want to see the before. And they sent me the before and I was like, that is not what you posted.
I think that there's so much beauty in that sometimes too. Like I think editing is such an art and like it's so awesome when people can like make art out of photos. Like
Yeah.
sometimes that's the point of it and I love that. But I'm mainly talking about like wedding photography or like, couples. Like that is kind of where but like yeah, I totally get that. And I think some photos have to look different than the original, like if the lighting is bad or whatever. Like there's obviously room for exception. But generally the goal for me is to shoot correctly in camera first to get that
Okay,
ready.
that was the question I was going to ask you.
Oh, hit me.
No, I was going to ask if you are a perfect in-camera photographer or you're a fix-it-later girl.
I am both, but I strive to be more so good in camera.
Okay.
Like I try to avoid Photoshop if possible. Like if I can wait 30 seconds and have someone step out of the frame so I don't have to Photoshop them out, like I'd so much rather do that. Or like if that's why I love mirrorless because like I can get it right in camera a lot easier.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm a fix-it-later girl.
Olivia will intentionally take a crooked photo just so later she can make it straight.
No, I'm not I don't intentionally make things crooked. My head is not straight on my head, like, it, like, curves this way,
I was
so
noticing that. And I'm just kidding.
You know what? Any wedding now, when I have to grab and cull all of her photos, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I know why. Your head's crooked in this one.
My mom has told me this my whole life that my head was crooked, so
Oh, I'm just
that is hilarious. Okay, I
Yeah.
do have I'm really curious about this question, and like this was the first question that I put on because I feel like a lot of the people that I look up to, that I follow, that I like strive to gain my inspiration from as far as Instagram. where do you gain your inspiration from? Like, is it Pinterest? Is it Instagram? Is it magazines? What is it that inspires you to create and how you create
Hmm.
it?
That is such a good question. I mean, definitely, like, I'm no stranger to looking at people's Instagrams and being like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I love that." Like, I think film photography has really grown in a lot of my inspiration recently.
Yes.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. And so that's one thing, but I mean, obviously, like, I love looking, like, it's really cool to see what other people are doing and how other people see things. So, but I think there's a line between inspiration and plagiarism, and that's a whole
Oh,
different.
yeah.
But
100%.
That's a big topic
also,
here.
yeah, we don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
But I also like really find a lot through just like scenery and nature, and like I love shooting outside, not just because like natural light, but just in general, like the scenes that we have at our disposal are just like unreal. And so it's cool because you can kind of like do less, but less is more.
Mhm.
Or like someone could, it's just like that's why I love traveling, is you just get to like see so many things and like imagine like what a couple in a wedding dress would look like standing somewhere. It's just like it's cool. So I'd say like outside of just looking at other people's work or scrolling on Pinterest or whatever, like just nature in general is
Mhm.
probably where I get most of it. Yeah.
That's actually really good. I feel like the more I travel, the more I'm like, this is like I saw when we were in Savannah, I saw this like big white like column and it had a balcony and I was like, okay, imagine a wedding dress.
My favorite thing is like where you can like and this used to happen to me a little bit more, and now it's kind of like I've taken the photos that I've seen in my mind, but when I like see a photo in my head and like I just have to get it, like it's just so fun to then I don't know if you've
Make
ever
it
like had
happen.
that experience where you're like I just see this, and sometimes it flops and that's great because then you're growing and you're learning, but like sometimes it works and you're like this is awesome and this is everything that I wanted, and it's just like that is one of my favorite feelings is when you like have a vision and it comes to life. It's just so fun. So
That's yeah, that is exactly what happens because I've done things where I'm like, I saw this going a lot different in my head, but we're
It's
just gonna
like
try.
yeah, it's like
Harder
trying
next
a
time.
it's like trying a new pose and then being like, "Actually, I don't know about this, but we'll just
Yeah.
make it work," you know?
Yes. That is hilarious.
But sometimes it works out perfectly, so
yeah, and every couple's different and every couple does things differently and you learn and you grow. So
Is there anyone in particular that you look up to or like it could be photography related or like in just genuine life, but is there anyone that you're like, I look up to you?
totally, yeah, absolutely. Lots of people. Um, a few names that I'm thinking of currently. Have you guys ever read any of John Mark Comer's books?
No, I haven't.
Oh, ladies, 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 let me put you onto something.
Okay, all right. I have a what's it called? A notes in front of me. Okay, what
Read
book?
the book Garden City
Okay.
I've
by
heard of
John
it,
Mark Comer.
actually.
Will change your life.
Okay.
He is a pastor in Portland, Oregon. Well, he was a pastor in Portland, Oregon. Now he runs another organization. He's written a bunch of books. He started a church. Like, I would move to Portland to be a part of his church. Like, it's just, and now another pastor that I also really look up to is the pastor. But John Mark Comer, I mean, he is just like so wise, so knowledgeable, lives his life in such a unique way that I admire a lot, with a lot of like, um, rules of life as far as like slowness and silence and solitude and like community, like the way that he lives in with those different kinds of, I don't know, it's just it's super unique and like super beneficial. So I really admire him and his work. Like that book was literally a game changer for me. And someone else, another, her name's Taylor Tippett. Have you guys ever heard of her?
Yes, but I don't know
Like
how.
she's kind of like an Instagram personality. She wrote a book. She's a flight attendant. She's like pretty big on Instagram. I just think that she is like so cool, and she's just like the cutest little bean, and is super like her book is just like feel good, encouraging, and she just like is so nice to everybody. Just like really like I look up to her and the way that she interacts with strangers, and I just
Mhm.
think that it's like so beautiful. Um and the way that she sees the world is cool. So I like really want to be her friend.
Oh my goodness. DM her and be like, hey, can I take a photo?
Then I've tried to take her pics of her husband and it just hasn't worked out, but it's fine.
So are you
One
a big book reader?
Not necessarily. I would like to be.
Yeah,
I would
same.
go through spurts. I'm not super into like novels. I've read a few and I've enjoyed them, but I'm kind of like, if I'm not learning anything, why am I reading? Which is not
Yeah.
like all the time, but
That's how I feel. That's why I love listening to podcasts, like listening to
yes,
books.
totally, yeah. So I wouldn't call myself a reader, an avid reader, but I do enjoy it. But
That's one of my
I am reading
goals.
a
I
book
wanna
right
read.
now that you guys should also read. It's called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality.
Ooh, okay. That's the one I'm starting next.
Yes, it
Okay,
is
emotionally.
Emotionally Healthy Spirituality by um, Peter Scazzaro, but you'd be able to find it with just typing the title.
Okay, because I was gonna say what like one of our like final questions was gonna be, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Because I'm like I said, I'm super into podcasts. I actually enjoy reading thoroughly. Not only my biggest thing is the Bible right now because ooh, Lord is putting me in my place and that's on period.
Mhm.
With the Bible. And I love watching things like documentaries, movies. So tell me what you're reading, watching, listening to.
Well, what I'm reading, I just told you. So I'm reading Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. I'm rereading it. I read it once in college and bought my own copy, and now I'm like reading it, underlining everything. It's so good.
Ugh.
I currently am watching. I don't watch too much TV, but that sounds so pretentious. I do watch TV, but I don't watch a ton. But on Netflix, I am watching this new little like I think it was actually a show made after a book. They do it a lot, but it's called Firefly Lane. It's like a feel good kind of like drama on Netflix right now.
Okay.
And then what was the other one? Like podcasts?
Like listening to.
Oh, music. I mean, I am weird about I Spotify through and through, but then I use the liked songs feature a lot, and so then for like 2 weeks at a time, I'll go through like my top 30 liked songs like constantly, and
Mm-hmm.
then getting 30 new songs and then go through those constantly. But I'm really been into like MBL worship, like worship music. I don't know if you've heard of MBL. Similar to Maverick, but a little different.
Yeah. Okay, I'm
Uh,
literally typing them in.
yeah,
Who
there's
is your top Spotify Wrapped artist?
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Okay,
You're
do you have
safe.
tickets?
Yep.
Where'd you go? Where'd you get tickets to?
I didn't get tickets.
Oh, sorry.
I'm so bummed. My sister-in-law got tickets and I didn't. But I'm hoping that something will happen. Randomly, a friend will have an extra ticket and I'll be just randomly
Yeah.
free and able to go. And I'm just speaking that into existence. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
you guys,
yeah. It'll come to you. Yeah, we
Me
did.
and Olivia are psychotic.
my top podcast was my 8-hour box fan that I play every night when I was.
I love that because Olivia and I, whenever we go out of town now, we listen to like rain.
Okay,
Yep.
but you
It's an
know that
8-hour box fan playlist that I every night.
the phone has one, right?
Does it?
Yeah. I'm
Box fan?
teaching.
I use Spotify so I can get those minutes up.
I feel that on a spiritual level. That is hilarious.
I think I did the math when my rap came out, and I don't remember how many minutes it was total, but however many minutes, it was like 100 days total of box fan.
That is
So
probably so relatable for so many people.
totally, I would hope so. I just love a little white noise. I need like an actual white noise machine, but my phone works for now. So
Okay, so I guess to wrap everything up, first off, thank you again for like coming. I know we've taken up like a lot of your time, but I'm so glad that we met and that you got a chance to come on because you're very inspiring and God is doing amazing things through you, for you, and all the things. So we appreciate you for coming.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Oh,
and I just asked for you guys and this podcast and your businesses. I think that there's just so much beauty in it, and you guys are just giving people a space to share, and that's really special. So thanks for creating this space.
If you come to Georgia, we want to meet you. We want to meet up, or we can just all go to Utah. I'm so down.
Literally name a spot. I'm going to let you know about that date that you told me. I'm going to reach out to my clients and see if we're going to do their engagement session in Utah. If not, guess where I'm coming. I'm coming
or this summer. Come on to Montana, ladies. I might be there for a couple months this summer. So
no, I'm dead serious. I will go. So give me dates. Put it on your Instagram story and I'll slide up.
I'll be there most of July and August, most likely.
Do you host your own workshops like style shoots and stuff?
Yeah, my friend and I host retreats. So we don't necessarily do education, but we just do retreats and do shoots and just have fun and play. So
I was eyeing that Hawaii one, by the way.
We still have tickets available.
It's really tempting. I might be going to Utah for a vow, or not Utah, Hawaii for a vow renewal. If that ends up not panning out, I'm gonna be reaching out. Because it looks, I don't have to pay for a flight, and if all I'm paying for is everything included,
we have a house. We are gonna give you food. It'll be McKenna is planning 6 awesome shoots.
Okay, so question
today:
are you guys for room from the airport to the?
No, but we have like the people who are coming, everyone usually just rents cars together. Okay. And so like we will put everyone in a group chat and then y'all can just coordinate all that.
Okay, I'm going to be potentially reaching out because it looks quite fun. And now that I know you, I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to go.
Just hang out for a week.
Yeah, seriously.
Awesome. Never been to Hawaii. That might be fun.
Yeah, come on through, Olivia Rodrigo.
OMG. Now that's how you're going to remember me, is her, Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, absolutely.
I to this day get messages from people that are like, you need to change your name, and I'm like, what?
I can't help that.
Say, I had it first.
Oh my gosh, literally you were born first, so period.
Yeah, I was, and my name isn't even Rodrigo.
What is it?
It's Rodriguez.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's so close. It's so similar. People don't read, so
yeah. Well, that's their loss.
Well, thank you for literally everything. Like, all these recommendations. You best believe I'm going to start reading a book.
If you need any more, let me know.
I will. I will definitely be in touch. But I know literally it's holiday time. I'm sure you're with your family, so we'll let you go. But thank you again.
No worries. It was so great to meet you guys.
It was so true.
Have a wonderful evening. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Have a good off season if you have an off season.
Yeah, my next wedding is January 7th, so not too much of one, but thank you. You too. Your next wedding is January 7th too, because you're coming with me.
Period. Yes.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. Thank you so much again. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Absolutely.
All right, everybody. That's all for the episode. Thank you for tuning in to One Thing at a Time, a podcast where we talk about all things photography, life, and advice. Where can we find you, Olivia?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. All handles are at Olivia Rodriguez Photos, except for Facebook. It's Olivia Rodriguez Photography with 2 Y's because I'm too dumb to change it. Hailey, where can they find you?
You can find me at HaileyHighPhotography.com or on any social media platform at Hailey High Photography.
You can follow the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify and Apple and really anywhere that you can get your podcasts.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.